Rural Americans deserve access to the best of what our nation has to offer, especially healthcare. Across every state and every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families healthy. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.
Listen, all you New Yorkers.
Excuse me, taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Well, Hillary Clinton has pitched a fit because for the first time in American history, she and her husband are going to be held responsible and accountable for their many illegal deeds. She's very ramped up about the fact that the House Oversight Committee has issued a subpoena for she and her husband. They have both agreed to testify. They've made a great show of saying that they have no links to Jeffrey Epstein, which is laughable. Jeffrey Epstein was at the Clinton White House 17 times based on the records released by the DOJ. And of course, Epstein was the seed funder of the Clinton Global Initiative and the Clinton Foundation. Now, back in 2015, I exposed Hillary Clinton as the short-tempered, foul-mouthed, entitled kleptocrat who would actually steal a hot stove. She and her husband, I think, are the penicillin-resistant syphilis of the American public, and I wrote it in my book, The Clintons' War on Women. That was in 2015. I paid a horrific price for that, I'm convinced, since every single prosecutor on Mueller's hit squad that went after me had previously worked for Hillary Clinton. I think it was a retribution. That's why I thank God for President Donald Trump, who could see that I was being politically persecuted, squeezed to testify falsely against him, and gave me a full and unconditional presidential pardon. But I suspect that the Hillary Clinton we're going to see on the stand is going to be the same short-tempered one we saw when she was questioned before the U.S. Senate as Secretary of State regarding the 2012 attack on Benghazi. That, of course, took place on September 11th, 2012 in Benghazi, Libya. It was involved coordinated assaults by Islamic militants on two government facilities, a diplomatic compound referred to as the U.S. Special Mission, and a nearby CIS annex about 1 mile away. Hillary Clinton has never been honest about this, and when we asked her when she was asked about it, she said, quite famously, "What difference does it make?" It makes a huge difference because Hillary Clinton and her State Department sold us a false narrative. They claimed that this was a spontaneous uprising of insurgents who were spurred on because they had seen a video disrespectful to Islam shown in the country. That is, of course, a completely made-up story. This was a precision military attack. The first attack began around 9:45 p.m. local time on September 11th when heavily armed militants, estimated to be between 20 and 150, associated with the group Ansar al-Sharia and al-Qaeda affiliates, stormed the U.S. diplomatic compound. The attackers very clearly had a blueprint of the property, knew exactly where the safe room was. The attackers breached the main gate, overran parts of the compound, set fires, including to the main building, that would be Villa C, using fuel cans, and used firearms and other weapons. The U.S. ambassador to Libya, you may remember, J. Christopher Stevens, Foreign Service Information Manager officer Shane Smith, were sheltered in a safe room, but ultimately died of smoke inhalation, which did not stop the radicals from dragging their bodies out into the streets and publicly defiling them. This is what Hillary Clinton had wrought. The diplomatic security agents and others attempted a rescue amid what was reported reported to be heavy smoke and chaos. The second phase involved attacks on the nearby CIA annex starting around midnight. This is all on Hillary Clinton's watch, but there were no immediate casualties there. A third, more intense mortar and rocket-propelled grenade attack on the annex occurred around 4 to 5 o'clock on the following day, killing 2 CIA security contractors, both former Navy SEALs, Tyrone Woods and Glenn Doheny. So 4 Americans were killed, including Ambassador Christopher Stevens, Sean Smith, Tyrone Woods, and Glenn Doheny. There were additional injuries as well. An unknown number of Libyan attackers were killed. The attacks were carried out by members of Ansar al-Sharia. Why did Hillary Clinton insist that we had somehow instigated this through the leak of a video and then refused to answer questions about it? Investigations later concluded the assault was completely premeditated and that Hillary Clinton and Valerie Jarrett, Susan Rice, and those around her just stoutly lied to the U.S. Senate. I think you get the picture here, but I found that Hillary Clinton was really the one running the show. She very clearly, as I establish in my book, first of all, her husband's presence on Epstein's Island, which is proven in the sworn testimony of at least 3 of his victims, including Virginia Roberts Giuffre, who we're supposed to believe committed suicide, puts him at Epstein's Island. This is not really surprising. In my book, I document multiple cases of sexual assault and rape by Bill Clinton. Many of these cases are well known. Now, Jennifer Flowers, that was a long-term consensual relationship, and Monica Lewinsky, I think, was not grounds for impeachment, as disgusting as it may have been. But Bill Clinton's extraordinary attack on Juanita Broaddrick, a woman who has become a major voice on the internet for freedom and a major critic because the pain never goes away. Bill Clinton was then the Attorney General. He was preparing to run for governor. She was working at a nursing home. He invited her to his room. She had been volunteering for his gubernatorial campaign when he assaulted her. He would famously bite through her upper lip as a technique. A woman trying to cover her bleeding lips cannot cover her genitals. There's at least 2 other reports by Yahoo.com of Clinton using this same disgusting technique. Then there's Kathleen Willey. She wrote the opening, the foreword, I guess I should say, for my book, The Clintons' War on Women. She was alleged that during 1993, when she worked as a House volunteer, Clinton groped her, fondled her during a meeting in the Oval Office. She detailed this in 1998 on 60 Minutes and in her own book, as well as mine. Paula Jones, she was paid $800,000 to settle a lawsuit for sexual harassment. So that is essentially stands as an admission of guilt. But the point here, of course, is that it was Hillary Clinton who runs the cover-up. It's Hillary Clinton who hires the heavy-handed private detectives and the mean lawyers to threaten these women into silence. I recall also the case of Leslie Milwee, a former TV reporter, came forward in 2016 alleging that Clinton sexually assaulted her 3 times in 1980 when she was working in Arkansas. In fact, there is substantial evidence that Bill Clinton, who attended Oxford very famously as a Rhodes Scholar, very interestingly never got his certificate. He would later be given an honorary degree at Oxford, but he would withdraw very suspiciously from the Oxford program. Now, the U.S. Senator J. William Fulbright of Arkansas was incredibly powerful in the U.S. Senate. In fact, the scholarship that Bill Clinton got is known as the Rhodes Scholarship. The very powerful Senator J. William Fulbright pulled strings to get Bill Clinton into Oxford, but he very interestingly, he was accused there of sexually assaulting a woman named Eileen Wellstone. Wellstone reported the complaint with Oxford University authorities at the time, alleging assault, though some retellings say rape, but no charges were ever brought, no action was ever taken against Clinton. Clinton claims that he withdrew because he was accepted at Yale Law School, but I believe that too is a cover-up. So you have here 2 epic liars. The only thing the Clintons do better than lying is stealing. We know, for example, that during Barack Obama's time, that an investigation by the FBI into the pay-for-play operations of the Clinton Foundation were stopped cold. So the question here is, will they ever really be completely held responsible? Hillary Clinton says they have no links. She says her husband was on the plane a few times. Turns out that number is 27 times. It is high time that these folks are questioned under oath. And as I say, I paid a very high price because I feel like I was targeted by telling their epic story. It is a story of extraordinary greed, hubris. And I really think that she's the one with the drive. The most interesting thing about it, of course, is if you think you dislike the Obamas, no one dislikes them more than the Clintons. In fact, the two couples cordially dislike each other, although they have to cover for each other because they know each other's secrets. Hillary Clinton never quite got over the fact that the party passed her up to elect and nominate a little-known U.S. Senator, Barack Obama, in 2008. This causes enormous bitterness. The Clintons really could not understand how they could be denied a presidential nomination. After all, Hillary Clinton had been the First Lady and the Secretary of State. So Barack Obama kind of catches a wave here, realizing that the people don't like dynasties. They don't want any more Bushes, and they don't want any more Clintons. And they're tired of the scandal of week under Bill and Hillary. That causes enormous bitterness. Bill Clinton actually says to Ted Kennedy, with amazement at Obama's ability to beat his wife, and says, Ted, back in the old days, this boy would be fetching us coffee. To which Senator Ted Kennedy was so outraged, he immediately endorsed Barack Obama for president. So there's probably no love lost as this moves forward. Barack Obama, of course, because he was president, under the same Supreme Court decision that shields Donald Trump from frivolous attacks, he too would have that same constitutional protection.
Rural Americans deserve access to the best our nation has to offer, especially when it comes to health care. Across every state and every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families' health. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.